May 1941, Waterloo Ironworks, Andover, Hampshire. A strange machine rolls out of the workshop doors. 50 feet long from coupling to tail, 8 feet wide, just a foot off the ground. Built on a single axle carrying the entire load. To most people, it looked silly. Too long, too low, almost impossible to control. Drivers joked it couldn't even turn around in a village street without blocking everything. And yet, this silly machine would go on to quietly change the outcome of the air war over Britain. Because this wasn't just a trailer. It was the Tasker, 5-ton-long, low-loading semi-trailer. But the men who used it gave it a very different name. They called it the Queen Mary, and it became the lifeline of fighter command. Before the war fully escalated, Britain had a serious problem. Spitfires and Hurricanes were being produced faster than ever, but every time one crashed in a field, force landed on a beach, or was shot down over farmland, it was effectively gone from the fight. And the recovery system was painfully outdated. If you're enjoying this so far, hit the like button and subscribe. There's a lot more untold wartime engineering like this coming next. Flatbed trucks, horses in some cases, manual dismantling, rail transport when possible, slow, fragile, completely unfit for a modern air war. Military planners knew one thing for sure: if war came to the skies, this system would collapse instantly. In 1939, the Air Ministry demanded something radical: a trailer that could carry a fully broken down fighter aircraft from anywhere in Britain back to repair units. The response came fast. Taskers of Andover built a working prototype and delivered it within days. What they created was brutally simple, but genius in design.
Steel girder frame, timber deck, side rails running the full length so aircraft wings could be stacked vertically. But the real innovation was the height, just 12 inches off the ground. That meant a crashed Spitfire could be winched straight on from a field with almost no lifting gear, no ramps, no cranes, just cables, manpower, and urgency. Loaded weight often exceeded 9 tons, which pushed existing tractors to their limit. So they paired it with Bedford OXC trucks, Commer Q2s, and later the Crossley QL8. Drivers called one of them the Donkey because of how hard it worked under strain. Combined, the rig stretched over 50 feet, sometimes marked with warnings claiming 60 feet of danger behind it. The myth of its size grew quickly, but the impact grew even faster. By 1940, under Lord Beaverbrook's aggressive wartime production push, the Queen Mary entered full service across Britain, and the results were immediate. Aircraft recovery output increased by nearly 190%. Engine recovery rose by over 160%. What had once been a broken system became an industrial lifeline. Within weeks, crashed fighters were being pulled from fields, rebuilt, and sent back into combat faster than ever before. But the work was far from safe. During the Blitz, recovery crews operated under constant threat. At RAF Tangmere, a German air raid destroyed multiple recovery vehicles and killed drivers on the spot. Elsewhere, teams working on wrecked German bombers suffered explosions, electrocutions, and even attacks while sleeping beside crash sites. The job was simple in theory: recover aircraft. In reality, it was survival work.
Then came one Spitfire that defined everything. October 1941, near Hastings. A young Polish pilot, just 20 years old, crash lands his Spitfire after a Luftwaffe attack. The aircraft is badly damaged but salvageable. It is loaded onto a Queen Mary trailer and hauled across southern England to a repair facility. Weeks later, after full restoration, that same aircraft flew again. Today, that Spitfire still flies with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, a living reminder that recovery worked. By the end of the war, Queen Mary trailers had helped return roughly 82,000 aircraft to service. That meant nearly 2/3 of all damaged aircraft were not lost. they were rebuilt. Entire repair networks depended on them. Some bombers required multiple Queen Marys just to move. No other nation had anything close to this system. Not Germany, not the United States. Because none of them built something that could take a broken war machine from a muddy field and return it to the sky. The Queen Mary remained in service long after the war ended, into the 1950s, the 1960s, even the early 1990s in some air forces. A machine designed for war ended up carrying airliners, training aircraft, and museum exhibits. And today, only a handful survive in museums and aviation sites across Britain and beyond. From the outside, it still looks the same. Long, low, unstable, almost awkward. Some might still call it silly. But history tells a different story. Because this silly British trailer didn't fight in the sky, it made sure the fighters could get back there.